Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. When last we left our heroes, they had been engaged in battle with a fairy dragon. The battle had gone pretty one-sided, truth be told, aside from a barrage unleashed against Ezrah, and the creature realized that it was outmatched, that it could not face down the band of adventurers that had come to ransack its abode, if that may in fact be what
I'm
is
gonna
happening.
ransack the hell out of the rest of this place.
And it fled, or tried to. Matashtai was able to stall the creature for the briefest moment, allowing Ashes to daringly, stupidly, and bravely leap away from the castle onto the creature's back and slay the creature. A brief moment later, Ashes is hurtling down towards the abyss. Matashtai and Bones are unable to slow his descent, and it comes down to Ezrah hurling himself over the edge of the castle to grab the Blood Hunter and teleport two of them back onto the roof of the castle. As the rope goes slack, Bones and Matashtai turn, seeing Ashes and Ezrah. And Ashes, in your mind, you hear,
"Holy shit."
"Oh my, that was fucking awesome."
I don't know why I did that. I have no clue why I did that. Holy
More of
shit,
that!
I almost died.
That was amazing! Holy shit!
Oh my god, am I really? Yeah, I'm here.
Ah,
I'm not dead.
I'll take seconds, please.
Well, we're gonna have to find another dragon.
That sweet ass.
There's a
talking
brief
about you,
moment
Ashes.
where Ashes is quite clearly like caught up for a moment, internally monologuing, and Matasha, there's this brief moment of familiarity, and even in your mind you get, looks like those two are getting along a little better.
He likes a little action, I guess.
As Ashes starts coming
I'll
back
stand
to
up
his
and I'll offer my
faculties.
hand to Ezra.
So you come back to your faculties, and I'm already like, you realize that something is poking you, and I'm looking up at you. What were you doing? That was dumb. That was bad. Why?
Ignore him.
Thanks for the save. That was amazing. I didn't think it through, but it
You
worked
know
out.
how
in the end.
far that goes down?
I
Do you
trusted.
remember?
I just trusted you guys. Like I knew it would be fine.
Oh
And it
boy.
was.
Insight check.
Think next time.
Ashes is over here just lying his ass off.
What?
That's funny. That's funny.
I'm glad you're okay, but think next time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's again, thank you. That was an amazing save.
And I think both of them, thanks too, because yeah.
Yes, you're welcome. I am a god of strength.
As Bones says as he's picking himself up off the ground.
I was down there by choice.
I'm just
But
cool.
I
yeah,
chose to be
seriously,
the-
thank you. Bones, Matt.
No problem.
It's
Pretty sweet human bullet thing you did there.
It
What's
was a
the
sweet
bullet?
human bullet thing.
say what's a bullet? We've seen guns.
I think Ezra's been shot by one.
Yeah.
You weren't there. You don't know.
I'm pretty sure I was there the second time it happened.
The second time? It didn't happen more than once?
I have no idea.
I don't think we've encountered a gun under the mountain.
No, not under the mountain.
Oh, I'll have to change that. Goodness.
It's all around the mountain.
So,
Ezra
in the
starts
aftermath,
looking around to see if there's a way down.
in the aftermath of the fight with the fairy dragon, the adrenaline kind of like fading, you are all once again taken by the chillness of the air here outside of the castle itself. Not as bad as it was down below with the stone giants, but still pretty bad. Ezra begins to look around, seeking a way back inside, other than the hole leading down into the courtyard, which is really less than a good way down for, well, Ezra. Everyone
Ezra,
else is
yep.
probably fine.
Yep.
Before we do anything else, everyone can add 1,250 experience to their character sheets for defeating the fairy dragon.
250.
92480.
1,250. 92250.
And Ezra, it doesn't take you long to see that there is actually a hatch in the floor, not 20 paces away from you. Basically on the eastern side of the northern section of this.
I pointed out to the party. Well, are we ready to go back in?
Do we make sure there's nothing else up here? Just roof?
I'd like to make sure there's nothing else up here, just roof.
Okay. So you take a brief moment to walk the space, look around. Bones, you don't notice anything. There are faint traces of wear and tear here or there. Gouges made from talons, scorch marks, portions of the stone scuffed. It appears as if the roof of this castle has seen battle before.
Interesting. I guess it makes sense. We weren't the first to try and kill the fairy. Yep, nothing here. We're good to go.
Or as people who try to kill Mad Goth or whatever.
Well, I mean, have we confirmed that this is his place? I mean, your boy knows, but does your cat boy know?
I think you guys have held pretty strong suspicions for a while now. You haven't found any concrete proof, I don't think.
Except for, the statue called Mad Goth.
Yeah, there's that. But
The
nothing.
robes did say M, not O.
I mean, we haven't fully explored this at all yet, so...
The second and third floors, I think,
Yeah,
are...
we need to check out the explosion.
Oh, yeah, it's probably... Yep, nothing here. It's great place, great time to be alive.
Maybe we, since we've cleared out the dragon, maybe we just camp out up here where it's safe.
No, I don't think so. We got a hole inside. It's heated.
We don't know what's inside.
If he puts up the hut on top of the hatch, and does the orb clip through the ground?
Does the hut have a thermostat? Because isn't it cold up here?
The hut does have a thermostat.
Control the temperature.
Completely. Wait, if you can control the temperature, can you burn somebody alive in a hut?
Oh, can you? Can we cook? Can we
I
cook
have to be
somebody?
in there
Oh
with
my
it.
god!
He would. Yeah, he would have to be in there.
You don't control
Well, I mean,
the
yeah,
temperature.
if they were somehow restrained,
Ah,
and you hut them,
Wait, you don't set the temperature. You what?
It's just a comfortable temperature.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what it says.
unless a comfortable temperature is
I set the
excruciating for
temperature
someone.
To
Sure.
surface of the sun.
Yeah, what if the surface of the sun is what's comfortable for me?
No. Here's the thing.
Then you can
This
learn to
is
spell
this is
and-
what it's this is specifically what it says. It says that the atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry regardless of the weather outside. So you don't even really get to alter it. It's just a comfortable temperature and dry.
Dang.
Darn it, burn it.
Which actually is even better because it would mean that, say, like a Jin and Ezrah are sitting in the dome. Technically, it's comfortable for both because the magic doesn't specify. It just says
That's
it is
disappointing.
comfortable.
I want to cook someone like an oven.
I was into it initially, but then Mitch hit us with that. No. You can't set the temperature.
Do
now
the
we-
fucking Andre Black
The
Ops
only part that
goddamn oven
matters to
juice.
Ezra is Ezra's required to maintain himself in the dome, so there's going to be no incinerations.
That's fair.
Yeah, like if you dome up over the hatch, and if the dome clips through the ground, like then there's literally no way into this dome.
I don't know if the dome does that.
I think it's a dome, not a sphere, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an immobile dome of force that springs up around and above you.
Yep.
But
Yep.
not below you. Like, it doesn't carve through the ground or anything like that. So technically, stuff can come up through the ground to get to you. But
That's a fun thing to recognize.
That's
Wow.
what we call bitch made.
it's always been an option. It's just there are
Third level ritual spell.
exactly. It's not supposed to guard against everything. It's just supposed to be mostly safe convenience. So, is that the plan? Is to dome up on the roof and get some rest?
I don't know. If that's what you guys want to do, are we talking short?
No.
I think Ezra's talking long because he's
That
he's
boy
pretty
wants a
tapped.
long rest.
And you
dude.
guys have
We
had
still
you.
have, I believe we still have one.
I think you
short
still
rest.
have a short rest.
I will have nothing for the rest of the day.
You really
Just want to be clear.
I want to clarify: is it actually nothing, or is it Jake nothing?
I will have 0 combat spells.
Okay. There. Wait.
So 4 to 5 then.
No. Well.
I have
Is
2
this-
second level spells.
Okay.
Okay, so you can
Which
upcast
I
the
have
first
Gust
levels.
of Wind, Hold Person, Misty Step, and Warding Wind.
Can you
Okay.
upcast some first levels?
My first level spells are Fog Cloud, Mage Armor, Shield, and Thunder Wave.
And I hate your spell list. And Thunderwave's first of all, Thunderwave is this fucking combat spell.
Okay.
I
Now,
have no combat spells I will use
Okay, well,
because that is for my Shield and my Mage Armor.
okay. Now we're. I see, but I also see. So. Okay.
I have 0 combat spells.
Fair enough. All right. So.
Your gloves are not a spell, they are enchanted items. That doesn't count.
Right.
I said what I said and meant it.
He did. All right. So what's the plan then? You guys are
Shut those
alone
bitches back
on
in
this
themselves.
I feel like
chilly
you're talking
miniature
snarkily Mitch
rooftop.
at us and are muted.
I was mocking you, so it's probably best.
That's fair.
It
Your face
might
said
be
it all.
for the best.
But legitimately, I have nothing of higher level, so
I don't care one
Yeah.
way or the
It
other.
is.
We can
It
rest
is a
through it.
risk. It is a risk,
I'm
and
fine
you're
with
just
resting.
assessing the party.
I have
on that
like
risk.
2 key points anyway, so
If y'all want a long rest, it's whatever. Yeah, it didn't matter to me at all.
Okay. Is that the plan? Dome up, long rest.
yeah.
yes, please.
If that is what people like to do, am not against it.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So as that happens,
We do not put the dome over the hatch.
We put the dome directly
See,
over the
we
hatch.
could sleep on the hatch.
No,
What if we put the dome only half over the hatch? The hatch can't open.
No,
Oh, wait a minute.
Ezra does
Yeah.
not do that.
technically,
What if we make Ashes sleep on the
Is
hatch?
that like the same thing as like putting an immovable rod over it?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Well, technically, the only thing, like, only creatures can't enter the dome. It doesn't say anything about items, right?
So how are they gonna squeeze through a half patch?
Maybe they ain't big. Well, I mean, they still couldn't get through the dome because they're not welcome, so
That's
Doesn't
right.
want to
it
learn
doesn't
the
matter.
lesson, so
Fair.
he just risked it to save ashes. He's done with the risking it for the day.
So, if that is the case, set up the dome. And you begin to rest. Ashes. It is about 20 minutes into this rest that your internal clock realizes it is now
7 p.m.
12th of Hammer, as you guys have reached the midnight point.
Held it. Long rested.
So,
Yay, it is 12. Hey, guys, it's the 12th.
Yes, I detected that. As I have felt my magic items recharge.
no, your magic items have not recharged yet. It's just
I have not detected that. That was satire.
that was satire. Aha. All right. So I just tell Jay that so that he can flip to the
Yeah,
next
like,
day of
move
his
to the next day on the
note
notes.
keeping for the
Yeah.
calendar. So. All right. You guys are long resting.
Sure am.
Situations is what got you into this mess.
It is.
So, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, because you rolled when you did the roof trigger, I rolled to see if there was anything up here, and you guys,
rolled
we
auto.
rolled a 6, and we rolled auto. So, situations was reset. It is now back to 1. And I don't think there's a need for a roll or anything like that.
Nope.
About halfway through your rest, you all hear a pop, and you see apparating out of nothingness where you had apparated. The homunculus just suddenly appears on the roof of the castle, looking around. Ezrah, is your dome translucent or is it opaque?
It is opaque in a color scheme that matches the palette of the stone.
So the roof just has a tumor.
Yep, the roof has a tumor.
The roof just has a tumor, so the homunculus kind of like comes over and sniffs at it and kind of like bangs on it a little bit and scratches at it a little bit, clearly curious.
Someone sticks their face out and go, boo.
You bit.
But if there is no interaction, eventually it heads over to, it explores the rooftop period, and then after about 20 minutes or so it heads over to the hatch, opens it up, goes down. While away the
Did we ever determine if it could understand common, or was it just Matt's mind link that was all the communication?
I
We said Mad Goth.
I believe you determined that it could understand you, but it could not communicate with you.
Okay.
So, your long rest passes, and we get to do our mechanics again. So, during this long rest, each of you gets the opportunity to do a little bit of side work. So,
Shit, I forgot about that.
Exactly, right? So, anybody know what they're doing off the top and want to go first?
Let me
have to go
check
fill in a
my
moment
brewing and
here.
storage.
Google Doc, maybe I have
Yes.
something.
Ashes first. Okay.
I have a potion. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Nope. I've said you first. Go.
Me first. Okay. I would like to continue to work on my potion of courage and my potion of force resistance.
Ooh, right. Okay. How many workdays do those have left?
1.
Okay. Well, then you go through the motions. You set up your alchemy station within the. You got like this little. Each of you has like a little triangular space, right? That's kind of like set up in the dome that you're allowed. And Ashes sets up his little alchemy station, and there's these weird little smells that come out of it, and it makes these pops and hisses every once in a while. It kind of becomes this kind of ASMR within the dome, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not loud or anything like that, but it's just this faint noise that is consistently there. Little Bunsen burner giving off a little bit of heat or whatever, you know. You go through the motions, and we had you roll at the start of these, right? That's for clarity. I circle back around. You're rolling at the start of each potion rather than upon the completion of each potion.
Sure. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember.
I'm 99% sure that is the case.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure. Let me check my notes. Yeah, okay, so you have rolled for both of these at the start using your alchemy skill, basically, and you succeeded on both, so they should be good. Meaning that at the end of this long rest, you complete your potion of courage and your potion of force resistance. So, reminder... I'm hoping you jotted this all down, but reminder, the potion of courage was
Hears fear and gives resistance to it
for
was it an hour?
Something
17 seconds.
17 seconds. There you go. Very perfect. And then
the potion of force resistance
is actually a potion of force resistance.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Perfect. Fantastic. Cool. All right, who's up next?
I will begin whittling on rare bones on a heretofore unnamed project.
Okay.
Day 1 of 10.
Day 1 of 10. All right. Day 1 of 10.
I will name said project at some point.
Yeah, you and I will talk about it later.
Ya boy Zach does not.
Fair enough. All right, next up.
I create a talisman of striking.
Okay. Ooh, which one is that one?
That's the smite-like one.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. Sweet. All right. Deduct your gold cost. Go from there.
Yep.
And then Ezra.
I page through the tome, focusing on the arcane elements in an attempt to glean further information.
All right. So this is new. You haven't done an Arcana focused one yet. So...
Done one before.
You've done one before?
Yep. I unlocked details on the 7th floor the last time.
Or an Arcana check? Are you sure that wasn't a history check?
I have it listed under Arcana.
That might have been a mistake on my part. But we'll just...
I might have wrote it in the wrong spot too.
We'll just...
The jury is instructed to forget that information.
We'll just ignore that and move on. Ezra, Arcana check for me.
Yeah.
Okay. find the right set of notes. I have created too much stuff for Dungeon Mad Mage over the years that we have played. I kind of have things spread out a bit compared to where they should be, basically. Okay, no, I've got all the same information. Right places. So, happen.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got a one thing that is pointing me to another document, which is pointing me to another document. So I've got to track down multiple documents. Whoops. I need to consolidate that information. I will try to do that. Okay. Proper Word doc. Here we go.
Well, please upload your documents to OnBase to be parsed by the system.
Ooh.
Rage.
Oof.
Mitch is gonna baby rage now.
Please,
Missing baby rage.
please no. Ooh. Okay, a 13.
Mitch is gonna adult rage now.
A 13, unfortunately, does not glean you in new knowledge. For Ezrah, you spend so with an Arcana check, right? You're not just reading the information in the book. You're not looking for patterns or anything like that. You're actually looking for arcane sigils or runes or magical phrases or things like that. You're looking for actual sources of magic with Arcana. Okay. And you find a few things here or there, dotted pieces, but there's not enough to connect the dots. Not enough to activate or act upon any particular piece of information. So build towards, but you do not succeed on any.
Activate.
Basically, for clarity, because I think I've already told you this, but when you fail a check on the book, you decrease the DC for the next roll of that type on the book. Gotcha.
Okay, nothing.
Nothing.
Good day.
Okay, cool. Other than that, the rest is uneventful. The hours pass. A few hours before your rest ends, there is the... My stuff recharged! Yay! So, anything that you get back at a dawn, or anything that has a recharge roll at dawn, can now go ahead and do that.
Are you saying we actually fixed our sleep cycle?
You guys you went to sleep at 11:30. You're waking up. You were waking up at 7:30. Yeah.
We're so proficient.
You guys are actually back on a normal schedule.
Or real people. Unlike me.
Are actively fighting it.
All right.
Papa Ezra trying to get your sleep schedule fixed.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do. That was the goal all along. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Time to do our 48-hour challenge.
Okay. So, with that completed, what is now thine plan, travelers?
I think we'd like to go into the
hatch?
fucking hatch.
Down me gob.
I don't want to go anywhere near your gob.
Down me gob. Alright. The hatch opens and has about a 5-foot drop it's not just a drop. There's a ladder that goes down to a small landing space, very small landing space, and then it heads westward down a light staircase.
All right, Ezra, did you want the invulnerable helm back?
No, you're good. You can lead the charge.
I will continue to become invulnerable.
Nice. Okay. So, this, I believe, is the first time you all have been to the 3rd floor.
Correct.
Because you were on the 2nd floor when you got teleported to the roof. So,
We see it.
as you begin to come down these stairs, Matashtai's lantern light, which I'm assuming you kick back up. Unless you don't want to.
No, I'll boot it back up.
Okay. Matashtai's lantern light reveals an unseen servant standing next to a door at attention.
Makes the sound of Windows 95 booting.
Yeah. That's a
Sure. Yeah, that's
terrifying
the sound that
sound.
makes.
Oh my goodness. As you come down, you see this unseen servant, and you're able to kind of like step into the hall. This floor is yet again quite different from the floor before it. The floor of this hall is made from tiny bits of colored glass and crushed gems, polished to a lustrous sheen. The whole place seems to kind of glitter and sparkle, and every bit of light, specifically the light cast from Matashtai's lantern, that violet light, just ricochets off of the myriad different surfaces, creating just this kind of dazzling display as you're walking down this hallway. It's really quite pretty, but it's also a little obtrusive, right? It's almost garish or kind of in your face, almost disco ball-esque in its overbearingness. And you can hear this kind of like squelching, sloppy noise.
From where?
From the south.
Well, shall we investigate that noise?
There's a door to the west, there's a door to the east just south of you, and then below you, the hall bells out and goes in multiple different directions. So you guys have a wide expanse to explore from here.
I'm gonna assume it's probably the homunculus, right? But yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, let's check. I think we'd like to check out the noise.
All right,
I will go first, as I am invulnerable.
Sure.
Check
I'll
for
put
the
you a little bit
squelchy
ahead.
noise.
So you guys begin to kind of move southward in search of this noise. You come to a slight intersection. You can see eastward and then westward, but the noise is still coming from the south. So you keep heading in that direction, I'm assuming?
I'd like to keep heading in that direction.
Okay. And as you get closer to the south, you see there's another kind of like antechamber down here, much akin to the one that you had just left. And you can see at the southern end of this antechamber, there is a bucket and a mop being slid along the ground and then into the bucket. And then slid along the ground and then squelch into the bucket.
I just turn around. They're mopping. And then I leave. I'm going back to check the rooms.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Back the way you came to the rooms that you passed originally.
That's my plan.
Okay.
As I, the invulnerable one, have decided that that's what I wish to do.
Does everyone else follow? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, follow me, the invulnerable man.
Fair enough. You go back to this original, like, little antechamber. You see again the silhouette of that unseen servant just standing at attention next to one of the chambers. On the western door, there's a
really
copper
sad when I'm
coin
vulnerable again.
wedged into that door, and the door itself has a stained glass wolf's head worked into its
Ooh.
design. And then the door to the east, right here, has a very it has a very crude wood and rope sign hanging from the doorknob. Much like the rope.
Oh, does it say something in
wood
Draconic?
and rope sign on
What does it
the
say?
front
What
door.
does it say in Draconic? What does it say in Draconic?
It says,
Fuck you, piece of shit.
That's
What if it says nothing in Draconic? What does it say in Dwarven?
no. It says, Jalfi Ti Aldur.
Oh, cool.
Which basically translates into Draconic. This is my room.
Dude, I want to go in there.
Okay. You head up to the door. There's no coin or anything like that.
Jimmy, hold on. He was
Jimmy
he was
the handle?
Trixie. No, he was Trixie.
Okay.
I checked for Trixie traps.
Check for
Oh,
Trixie
shit,
traps.
Trixie
Roll
traps.
me a perception check.
Specifically Trixie traps. If they're not Trixie, I'm uninterested.
Okay.
I
Wow.
rolled that's my lowest roll is a 20.
I'll keep that in mind. You find no Trixie traps.
Well, I'm uninterested then. So I open the door.
Well then. You throw
Look,
open the
I'm
door. You throw open
I'm
the
a cat of my laurels.
You throw open the door, and there's a large room on the other side. So, this room, you step in real quick, you take a look around, and this place has just been thoroughly tossed. There are tables in here have been flipped, bookshelves have been knocked over, chairs are scattered about, there are rugs, multiple rugs across the room, too many rugs for this room specifically, like more rugs were brought in here and just shredded, right? The floor is covered with accumulated junk, much of which seems to be irreparably broken. There are candles and candle snuffers, potted mushrooms, mortars, and pestles, right? Like a whole stack of them. Lamps, belts, pentacle pendants, recipe books, sticks of colored chalk, kettles, cauldrons, spoons, stuffed animals, most of them torn to shreds, spools of wire that have been bent back on themselves, glass beads that are crushed, wigs, like actual wigs, walking sticks, bars of soap, balls of yarn, cracked mirrors and various prisms, quills, but all of the feathers across them have been like jarred or rubbed the wrong direction over and over and over again. There are cracked smoking pipes, empty scroll tubes, torn sheaves of parchment, and kind of like dominating the center of this room, just filled with trash, accumulated junk, is a little nest. And I say little, but it's large.
Big ol' nest.
Big old nest.
Are the items that are brought in here like 20 times the size they normally be?
No, they are not.
Okay.
No.
About
They
to-
are all normal sized, but as you look around the room and you begin to see all of this stuff, it does not take you long to realize that the majority of this junk is accumulated towards the center of the room. It creates a small mound, and then within that mound is a slight depression. a dragon's nest amongst their horde.
Always slight depression.
Yeah, slight depression.
Hey guys,
Then there's a door
on the
to the
dragon's
east,
horde.
which is actually slightly cracked.
Damn, it's cracked. Yeah, boy. Okay. I mean, what's going on with his little nest? He's got cool stuff in it.
You walk up it and kind of start taking a look around.
You're damn
Basically,
right. I'm
like, a
invulnerable.
little mermaid collecting shit.
So Bones heads further into the room. What are the rest of you all doing? Are you all like gawking from the doorway?
So if he's checking out the nest, I'm gonna go check out that cracked door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Matashtai crosses the room around the nest to go inspect the cracked door. Ezrah, Ashes, you staying in the door or got any plans?
I guess I could stand guard.
Standing guard? Okay. Sure.
Man, what if the dragon was regrowing in the nest like the homunculus?
Wild.
That'd be cray, dude. MF and cray.
All right. Matashtai, I think we'll start with you, since yours is the simplest. The door that you come to is slightly ajar. You can see just outside from it, there is a golden dragon laying on the floor. The coin type, not the creature type. And beyond is another antechamber. It just seems that this room has entry from both the west and east. But something had opened this door, dislodging the coin that had been there, and left it ajar.
Homunculus. Got it.
Bones.
That's me, baby.
You climb up the mound, the precarious, shifting mound of junk, onto the depressed nesting area, and begin to kind of like investigate, search around, see if the fairy dragon, presumably the creature that made this, had some actual horde here.
Yes, that is my intention.
It unfortunately doesn't seem to be much of anything aside from the junk that I had described previously. Most
tell you
of
what's
this
worse about
nesting
killing it,
area is smoothed out, at least.
Damn, what a little bitch.
Comfortable for a large creature, but nothing especially interesting.
That disappoints me greatly.
There is. What
That
is
kind
your
of excites me.
passive perception?
20.
Roll me a perception check because you are looking around for all this stuff.
20.
You just keep managing. Oh,
No, I can't roll. That's my lowest roll.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Is you just can't get above it. Is what I'm saying.
Yep, I can't. God damn.
Wait a second.
There we go. I did it.
Okay. All right. We have discovered that it is not broken. So
That's kind of ridiculous.
that is kind of ridiculous. Holy shit. 3 sub 10 rolls.
5 sub
Or
10 rolls.
5
you
sub
mean?
10 rolls.
10.
My bad. Counting is hard. I apologize. So,
That's quite shocking. Yeah.
you don't find anything in this nest, but there is. It's strange. The creature seemed to fly just about everywhere that it went. that you saw of it, right? Every time you saw it really moving around, it was flying.
Yes, I recall that.
There's like a drag trail through the northern side of the mound, northeastern side of the mound.
The drag trail. It's my favorite kind of trail. I'd like to follow it. Follow the trail.
I mean, it doesn't take you far.
Does it appear as if something was dragged out of the nest or into the nest?
Well, there's nothing to match the size of the nest or of the trail in the nest. So it might have been drug up into the nest, but if it was, then it was taken away later. If it was drug from the nest down this trail, then it basically just leads you up into this northeast.
Okay, well, that's at least interesting. And if there's nothing of value here, I have to do something to keep myself from burning the nest to the ground.
It's a bed.
It is a bed. It is a bed. He would have to destroy. He's, I think, now contractually obligated to destroy.
Technically,
the bed.
the dragon didn't make a deal and then go back on it.
That's true, actually. So you could sleep here.
Could do that, yeah. Okay. Anyway, is there something large nearby?
What is everyone else
in
doing right now?
The drag path?
As Ezra watches Bones figuring stuff out or attempting to chase a lead, he'd pull out the Hasnarketa.
Okay.
And pop detect magic on himself.
Ooh. Okay. What is the range on detect magic?
30 feet.
700 feet.
All right.
And then after I do that, I would begin
Start walking around the room. Gotcha. So you immediately get a couple little pings here. I think I've already described this before because I think you've done this in the castle. But this whole place, just the level below, right, the land of the stone men, is pervaded with magic. The same up here, but different magic, right? There, you could tell that there's a very big difference in the magic pervading the area of the stone giants and the magic pervading the area of the castle, right? So there's obviously just that massive amount of magic all around you. Probably the miniaturization magic here, right? But also the magic of the shaping of the castle itself. There's the magic of you and your allies and what you have upon you. There's the magic that you detect with the unseen servants as they come and go in the castle around you. There are little pings, because it doesn't... does detect magic... Is that blocked? Huh?
Paste it in chat.
Take a look.
Oh, bang, bam, bang, bam.
The spell
One
can
foot of
penetrate
stone.
most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or wood. So you don't sense anything like below the floor. As you begin to move about the room, you don't really get any pings from the junk pile or anything like that. Bones, you are in the northeast corner. Sorry, my apologies. Ezra is moving around while that's happening. Bones is working on his investigation. Ashes and Matashtai, anything changing, or are you guys just holding sentry at the doors? Which is fine.
Yeah, I was kind of milling about, poking at stuff as they do stuff.
I'll curiously stick my head in just to see what's all in there, but yeah, for the most part, I'm gonna hold my ground.
Fair enough. Bones.
That is I.
As you come to the base of this trail, you come to the realization it wasn't just one thing. There were several things that were kind of like drug through this path, which is a little odd considering it's away from both of the doors, so there wouldn't be any need to, unless the dragon built the nest in a very, I don't know, an odd pattern. And it is, as you are looking around, kind of come to this point where you're sure there's something amiss, but you're not sure what it is. Ezrah kind of comes over towards you, and Ezrah, as you do, you get a faint ping from beyond the northeastern wall of the room.
I point at the wall.
Yeah, it's the wall.
Check it.
I check it.
Okay.
Check it for what? I poke it with a 10-foot pole. Does it explode?
It does not explode.
I check it for a secret door now, because that's obviously what he meant.
Oh, is it obviously what he meant? Gotcha. So,
I mean, if it doesn't explode, then yeah, probably.
You were already suspicious, right? You were already looking for something amiss. So when your ally comes over and is like, hey, check that wall, something's up. You go into aha mode. And it takes you a second because it is well hidden compared to a lot of the stuff that you've dealt with in the past. But it is a false wall, not a fake wall, not a wall that has been put up or an illusion or anything like that recently, but it is a built into the design of this castle false wall. And there is a little button that you find next to it.
A Bhutan.
Press the button.
Press the button. There's a rumbling, draws everyone's attention for a second, and then they did. The wall pulls to the side and reveals a very small chamber beyond. In the secret space, you find a table about the size of the drag trail. And stacked upon it... Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. In the secret space, you find not one table, you find several tables about the size of the drag trail that have been stacked one upon another to form a makeshift shelf that scrapes the 20-foot high ceiling. They seem very precariously perched, ready to topple at any moment, but the tables themselves are covered in dozens of porcelain and ceramic objects, books, shiny bits and bobs, gemstones, vials, coffers.
Things.
And Ezrah, the wall removed, you can very clearly tell there are at least 2 sources of magic.
Love things.
Ezrah walks up behind Bones
3 sources, sorry.
and starts trying to get a beat on those sources.
You can tell the general direction, right? But there's so much stuff, they're covered, right? They're kind of like hidden amongst all of the stuff. 2 of them are kind of smallish, and you think inside other objects. The third is bigger, but not really big. But it's on the other side of all the tables.
Ashes.
I start trying to remove
hey, yeah,
whatever
what's up?
looks the most valuable.
What's going on?
Gonna need muscle.
Muscle?
You
All right.
step over and you start to kind of like pick at things here or there, Bones. This whole shebang, you realize just very very quickly, this whole thing, it's almost as if it was intentionally designed like this. It will topple in on itself, which maybe isn't that big of a deal, but it will topple in on itself if it is touched wrong.
Yeah, well, I try and touch it right.
You begin to start to like pick at, ceramic cup here. Oh, that's got a couple coins in it. Cool. A little box there. It's almost like playing Jenga.
So, you need me to take care of this for you? Because I could definitely get it out of your way.
No, what? You're gonna play Jenga? You back up, bull
No,
man.
no, that's Ezra called me. I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know what you need.
Not to be here. You're a bull in a literal china shop.
One
All right,
of
maybe hold on. I'll
those.
look at China might be.
One of those magic items that you can detect is at the top of the stack, up towards the 20-foot high ceiling here. Ezra, there's something up there that is sending off ping. But it's out of sight.
Is it like a room with like a stack of tables in the center of it, or is it like a room with a stack of tables against like the back wall?
Mostly in
like...
the center of it, right? Like they're not filling
So
the entirety of
nothing
the
is...
space.
So nothing's touching the four sides of it.
Yeah, not really. There
Can
are a
someone
couple
get-
like boxes here or there that are touching, but
Can
generally
someone
speaking,
get like in between any two sides?
it's a tight fit. Someone small could potentially squeeze through.
Someone like 150 pound, 6-something Catman?
Maybe you could try to squeeze through, but if you bump these tables wrong, they're all coming down. It's
Okay.
possible though.
Matt, stun the table.
Stun the table.
He does it. He auto success. Table stunned. It's not going anywhere.
It's locked in time
Table
now.
Stops moving.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Ezra, you had an idea on how to get this involving the bull man?
No, I just was thinking we could maybe have him pull the top layer off and
How?
we could slowly piecemeal it. But if you've got a different idea,
Oh,
I'm all ears.
I was just gonna try and be a cat.
Aren't cats normally known for knocking the things down?
That's what I was gonna do. Is that
Oh,
actually-
oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh
Interesting.
yeah, let's sure, whatever. Let's do that.
Okay, so what do you mean? What are the let's do that scenarios?
I could summon a floating disc, an unseen servant, a mage hand.
Are unseen servants and mage hands? I don't know, extraordinarily dexterous.
No.
Yeah. I mean, unseen servants are meticulous. Give them a directive and they'll do it until it's done.
I assume mage hand would be like a dexterity check against my dexterity, which isn't all that great.
I didn't hate the have Ashes try and unstack them idea, but you know,
where is this
potentially
magical thing coming from again?
all-
Like behind a table?
there's a fucking Jenga tile or Jenga tower of cool shit stacked in here on
Yeah.
makeshift shelf table.
And it's all it looks like it is designed intentionally to all collapse in on itself at the slightest provocation. And Ezrah has detected 3 different magical pings. One just in the center-ish of the Jenga tower, one towards the back of it, and one on the top of it.
But it
Oh,
also
okay.
seems like there's some fragile art objects here that could be worth something too.
There's a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
That I
You
mean,
know I love
the
gold.
porcelain, the china stuff, like basically, if it all comes down, that's definitely getting broke.
From a distance, does it look like those items are the more fragile items that I can see? Do they look like they're worth an exorbitant amount of money, or
Not
do they look like they're
exorbitant amount of money, but you know, yeah, it's not. There are porcelain and ceramic objects. There are books, shiny bits and bobs, gemstones, vials, coffers. Right. There's a lot of stuff here. Some of it is probably going to be worth something if you're wanting to cart it around, or if you're capable of doing that. There's obviously like some coinage mixed in with some of it. So it's just a matter of, you could try Bones, for instance. You could try the very dexterous approach, but the very dexterous approach is gonna be slow. It's gonna take you probably a couple of hours to try to like
Good
pick
Lord.
this stuff apart. If you're going really cautiously about it, because it's basically like you don't have a lot of room to work with, because there's junk just behind you, right? So you'd have to kind of like clear out a space to begin with and push that all back, and then you'd have to one by one each little piece to make sure you're not toppling the whole fucking pile. Try to bring things out, and it'd probably get faster as you go, but unless there's a way that you guys have to try to stabilize the situation or something like that, it's gonna be rough.
Matt, what if you made your
Yeah.
little rope of climbing wrap around it?
that would be one layer.
No, wrap around like a spiral. We got like 100 feet of bullshit, right? Just
60 feet of bullshit.
60 feet of bullshit.
I gore into the room.
I will actually kill you.
Honestly, do we have any reason that we're in a rush?
Guess not.
I mean, no.
Probably don't want the homunculus to find us robbing him.
We're not robbing him.
We're robbing the dead dragon.
Which robbed him.
That doesn't mean we're robbing the homunculus.
They're transitively robbing him.
Transitively.
That's
Yeah, I can try and wrap it with the
Whatever
rope,
y'all
but I
want to
don't-
do. It was just an idea. I'm down to go through it for hours, but I was just trying to think of ways
So if
to...
there are a total of, let's say, 4 layers of the situation, the rope of climbing could probably wrap up about 3 of those layers. There would still
And
be
like the-
one precarious layer that could topple down.
And how many
But
tables are on the top layer? Or
Uh,
on each layer?
so so it's basically a table, and then, so I'm not counting the bottom, because it's the bottom is stable, right? I'm counting each one up, so it's a 5 stacked tables. So you'd be able to stabilize the second, third, fourth tables, and then the 5th one up at the top is still kind of precariously perched.
Okay, so we just have to be real careful on that, and then we can get the other shit real quick.
Seems plausible.
I mean,
I'm down
We could
for that.
have Matt Ashes try and get the, because Matt, you've got the boots that you can walk upside down, and you and Ashes can work on getting that top table off, or at least clearing it before taking it off.
Ashes is gonna have difficulty really doing much
Yeah.
with the top table because, like I said, it's the ceiling is 20 feet high, so this top table is sitting at about 17 feet or so up. So Ashes isn't going to really be able to do much of the... Unless he's climbing up the thing. And if he's climbing up the thing, that's going to be a bit precarious. Concept. Unless you guys are envisioning it in a different way. Obviously. I'm all ears. What y'all want to do?
I wish floating disc was more interactive.
Yeah, right? It's very, very basic.
I mean, I can go up there and handle the top table, but
I mean, so can I. I can climb.
I mean, if the two of you, while the rope is handling the rest of the tables, I've got my mage hand, so I can at least aid with some element. But if we can clear up that top table and get it off.
Talk to me about the mechanics of this. Say we wrap the bitch up. Talk to me about the mechanics of getting stuff off.
Okay, so I would envision if you use the rope of climbing to wrap things and you start to like stabilize the tables with it, getting things off of the first several tiers is itself going to be relatively easy because those tiers are stabilized. But shaking those tiers, moving things, lifting things, bumping things, etc., is still going to potentially rattle that top tier because it's not stabilized. So you could be removing stuff from the other tiers and that top tier still come down.
Yeah, but
now whether or not that matters. Say what?
What if we wrap them up and start at the top though?
Okay. So you send the rope up towards the top layer and wrap it to the next one.
No,
we wrap all the ones that we can, and then we start at the top.
Yeah, you and Matashtai, yeah, that's what you were talking about. You and Matashtai climb up and start picking things off the top?
Yeah.
So what I would say mechanically, we're going to have two different scenarios there. The first is Matashtai can just glue his feet to the wall and ceiling, so he has kind of a situation there. You can climb, but yours is climbing either up the stabilized stuff, which is one situation, or it's climbing up a stone wall, which is a different situation. One is going to be, are you careful enough on the stabilized tables to not rattle things, versus the stone wall is probably going to be more along the lines of like, are you able to grip and hold for long enough for it to really matter, right? Because that's more
Matt up there. Fuck it.
You're just gonna send Matt up there.
That's my vote.
Okay.
It's not
and I can use my mage hand to assist.
I mean,
Matt
it's a thing.
Too.
If you guys want to just move on with it, by all means, move on with it.
No, I want
make it as much of a deal as you want to make it. So, rope of climbing, lasso up the lower tiers. Matashtai goes up and starts picking things off the top tier. That's the plan?
sure.
Any objections?
Doesn't sound like there are.
None whatsoever.
All right, yeah, that's what we're doing.
And I'll be using my mage hand to help him move stuff.
So the rope of climbing seems to go well. The rope itself, snaking around the outer side. You're very cautious about tightening it until most of it is in place, and then it begins to tighten. And that tightness, it kind of sends a shiver up the whole thing for a moment. But then it seems to set in and stabilize. Matashtai, you then go up the side of the wall, up the ceiling, and to the topmost table, which is not stabilized. And you can see there are a number of little porcelain dishes set up here. Some of them are filled with various bits and bobs, mostly coinage. But in the centermost porcelain vessel, a kind of like a soup bowl, if you will, there's a fat glass concoction burning, brilliant red.
Okay. I tried to grab it.
Okay. So, because you're on the ceiling, you're you're able to get over to it without touching any of the tables themselves. You do not have any issue in just reaching out and grabbing this potion. It is, as you wrap your fingers around it, make me make me a Constitution saving throw DC 11.
Constitution, very interesting.
Oh, constituted.
Dude, he's contated.
It scalds your hand as you reach out and grab it. Almost to the point to where you almost instinctively flinch back from it, but you don't. You are cautious, you hold, and then slowly remove it from the porcelain, realizing that had you flinched back, you likely would have knocked the entire thing down onto everything below you. It doesn't hurt you necessarily, right? But it does kind of scald your hand, and it's uncomfortable. Pocket
My
it.
hands are getting fucked up today.
Sooner rather than later.
I'm gonna fuck up.
And then after taking that, you realize that there's a lot of stuff up here on this top table, but it's mostly just porcelain and coinage at this point. If you wanted to, you could go to the far side of the table and just shove it off the now stabilized mountain of stuff, and it would all come crashing down, but it would also be out of the way. Or you could slowly but surely pick at everything and try to bring down all the porcelain and coinage, etc., etc.
I mean, we're not in like a hurry.
You're not. I'm just giving you options of seeing what you see.
I'll take my time.
Okay. So Matashtai begins to go about taking his time, bringing each dish over, handing them off to Ezra's waiting mage hand, etc. And you guys form a little assembly line where Matashtai is pulling things down, Ezra is picking them up, sending them over to Bones and Ashes, who are sorting and counting and sorting and counting. And I'm assuming once you get done with the topmost layer, there's no reason to not just continue on down to the other layers. It gets faster as you go now that the other layers are stabilized and you don't have to worry about the top layer crashing down on the rest of everything.
I assume we want the top table taken off, if that is something we can.
Once everything's off, you can easily Matashtai they're not super heavy tables, so Matashtai will be able to kind of like lift it from the other tables and begin to move it over, etc., etc. So this whole process takes you guys probably about 2 hours to carefully remove and unstack all of the stuff within this chamber, at the end of which you have a pretty solid collection of stuff. Specifically, there are dozens of porcelain pieces, ceramic dragon statuettes, old storybooks. Most of them not especially valuable, but if you wanted to carry them all back up top, you could get some coin for them. You find some worthless but shiny costume jewelry. You find a pair of jade bookends carved to resemble snake-like humanoid creatures that seem very... well made and probably rather expensive. That I would.
Copy pasta for this. Or should
I'm
I
gonna
be
give you a
typing?
copy pasta. Yeah.
Oh, hell
Um,
yeah.
And then you find throughout the various stuffed porcelain pieces and coffers and bowls and what have you, find a fair amount of coin. Find
Oh, I love coin.
5,000 copper pieces,
Good
Oh, God.
lord.
1,500 silver pieces, 300 electrum pieces, 150 gold pieces, and 30 platinum pieces.
5,000 platinum.
That's
pieces.
some money.
You also find,
you piece
aside
of
from
shit.
that scalding potion, you find another vial, banded in a metal, a strange metal at first. It takes you all a second to identify it with primarily bones and a little bit of ashes help. The metal banding the potion is adamantine.
Yes, I, as a dwarf, know much about these things.
That is why you were able to assist in that. And then
familiar
you
with that.
find find a very strange looking staff that is also giving off magical pings.
This potion cannot be crit.
This potion cannot be crit. Ugh. My goodness.
Oh, and whatchamacallit only lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So as we were getting to like the last table, I would have just ritually recast detect magic to
Yeah.
sort out what is what.
Easy enough. Easy enough.
We get stuff! Yeah! That's
You get
all I've
stuff.
ever wanted.
All he ever wanted. By the way, this staff is made from a red wood. And it is
So that's
shaped
willow.
much like a quarter staff. But it has some strange, almost silvery like filigree up the side. And there are these small patches through it where it looks like some, I don't know, some worm or termite or something is like bored holes into the staff itself. There's like missing chunks, basically.
Weird. Alright, cool. So we
Crawl out
get
of it.
shut. We get a bunch of shit. Awesome.
A bunch of shit.
Any
So-
of the other art objects? See, oh, you were gonna give us a copy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you
pasta.
guys a
Gonna-
copy pasta real quick.
A pasta of anything worth anything.
I'm gonna give you a copy pasta of all these stuff. You.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cheddar.
That's gonna be heavy. Okay.
25 pounds just for your share in copper.
Good lord.
Oh, what are the shares? Oh, there they are.
That's to the point where I'm just gonna start leaving shit on the ground.
I'll take his share.
Okay, so here's the money first. Coffers up to that money. Here are the various items. I just bundled the various items because I figured you guys they're not worth enough on their own to matter mostly. So the various items come to a total of 20 pounds, appraised at about 200 golds if you want to cart them around and get them sold.
I've got a lot of platinum.
And then there is the pair of jade Yuan Ti abominations. They look very valuable.
I love valuable stuff. I'll take those for sure. I'm willing to cart the other shit around too.
Okay. And then you have the fiery red potion, the adamantine potion, and then the strange red staff.
All right, I'm putting various shit worth 200 gold, Mad Goth, and then I'm putting
While we're here, do we want me to just Take the
Just
time.
another
and
30
identify
minutes added to things. Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm going to go ahead and tick up y'all's situation tracker at this point.
Yep.
For this whole shebang. Seems...
How heavy are
plausible.
the bookends, Jeremy?
The bookends are 2 pounds. 1 pound apiece.
Okay, got it. 250G. Sicko. Get those sold later.
So, Ezra, you're just going through and
virtually
identifying
casting
them?
identify. Yes, sir.
Alright. Cool. We can start with the top one. Matashtai hands over that scalding potion. I'm assuming with a warning. Ezra,
I normally initially collect it with the mage hand after the warning.
Ezra, you realize that this potion is not necessarily a potion at all. It is in fact an oil with a fiery red tinge to it.
Oh,
Oily.
alchemist fire.
You
Oil
also
boy.
realize that this concoction is incredibly flammable. Had it been disturbed on top of the scenario and had it fallen down, it probably would have set the entire room ablaze.
Oh, sick.
Shit.
Yep.
So, vindication
Yep,
in
Ezra
your
pats himself
caution.
on the back.
You all, you could have just torched that whole thing, which probably would have made it a little difficult to get
That's
stuff out of there. So, this
Another
oil
bullshit.
is in fact called an oil of red flame. It is an uncommon oil, and it can be utilized to coat a slashing or piercing weapon, or up to 5 pieces of slashing or piercing ammunition. Applying it does take a little bit. It is a pre-game scenario, not a on the fly. It takes a minute to properly apply the oil. But the next time you use the weapon, the oil will burst in flame and deal an extra 3d6 fire damage to the target. Ammunition that is coated in this way will burst and do 1d6 fire damage per piece of ammunition.
Is it like single use, then it's gone?
Yeah. It's a one and done type scenario. And I will give you guys a copy
that's really
pasta once I am able to change Discord servers without screwing up the layout. The next one, the Adamantine Banded Potion, is a silvery black elixir with tiny motes of magically imbued adamantine floating within it.
It's a gold slogger.
Once you're right. Once you drink this potion, Ezra, you identify, your body will become more durable, and for 1 hour, your AC cannot be less than 18, regardless of what kind of armor you are wearing, and you cannot be critically hit. Or as the adamantine armor effect works, you cannot be affected by a critical strike. You will still be hit, etc. But you won't take the amplified critical damage.
That is completely worthless to me.
And that is a rare potion.
Wow.
Nice to know it exists. Maybe I can start shaving off pieces of my armor and make them.
Maybe you can get your Bones' goblin crew to start hunting for adamantine.
Adamantine, yeah.
Quick point of
Turn them into
inquiry,
miners.
Jeremy.
What's up? Yeah.
Cannot be less than 18.
Yeah.
So if Ezra were to take that and then use shield, would that make it a 23?
I mean, that's not less than 18.
That's true. That is not less than 18.
That's math.
Fucking
Yes.
Because my
that is-
AC naturally is 11.
Yes, that is how that would work.
So it would be 18 by taking the potion.
It sets
then...
the it sets your AC to 18, and
Yep.
then you can't have your AC reduced below 18. You can still stack effects on top of it. Yeah. And then the last thing is this staff of red. You discover alderwood. It is a staff of ethereal action.
Very ethereal.
It can be utilized as a magical quarterstaff with a +2 to attack and damage. While holding the staff and attuned to it, you can see ethereal creatures and objects, and you can attack them with the staff. Additionally, while holding the staff, you can use an action to cast the etherealness spell from it. When you do, the duration is an hour, and you can only use it once per day. The property refreshes at dawn.
Pretty dope.
That is, as the kids would say, pretty dope.
Pretty dope.
Very interesting.
Well, I would love the staff. It is all around an upgrade for me.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It doesn't affect me literally at all, so yeah. No objections.
It's
It
yours.
doesn't do anything to my spell casting, so yeah.
Sure.
No problems there.
That being
Staff
said,
acquired.
it is a attunement item.
Oof.
So,
Damn,
and I
he
know
had to hit him with it.
Matashtai has some attunements going on.
I can just take off the ring of mind shielding.
Here.
Bro, then your
But then
mind
your
will be
mind
fucking
won't be
open,
shielded.
bro.
True, my mind will be available.
More
My
open
goodness.
than not, dude, bro.
Thanks for the follow, by the way. Buddy boy, that's the bad man.
Oh, he followed? What the fuck?
Odie
Is
gets the pet.
No,
is
Sergeant
that
Baker
staff in
followed.
the SRD or something? Or
No, I'll give you guys copy pastas at the end of the session. I would do it now, but I want to give you the copy pastas in Discord, and I can't change Discord layouts because my freaking layout will break on Streamlabs, so. Because that stuff's still the way it is. What boy, don't get me. Alright, so. You guys go through about a 2.5 hour process of getting everything down and then getting everything identified. A couple of unseen servants come and go into the room, etc., etc.
They don't like have a seizure from
No,
seeing all
they
the
don't
crap?
have a seizure or anything like that. It seems they seem used to it. You do see a couple of them come into the chamber and they extract items from the nest and then leave with those items, but they don't throw like a fit.
I just wanted to see one come in, look around, and just like magically implode.
Son of a bitch. I've been looking for this for years.
My god. Yeah. All right, so that situation resolved.
And the staff was the item that was behind the tables?
That was the big one kind of behind the tables. Yeah. The hidden one. So,
Neat.
anything
Ethereal
else?
warrior.
Or what is the next plan?
We keep clearing rooms.
Look for more
Find what
rooms,
I'm
yeah.
looking for.
So, I will say this with the new item, does Matashtai want to take the time to attune to that? Or are we going to wait? Because it does take a short rest to attune. You guys don't have to actually take a short rest, but you can take the time of a short rest.
What is it?
Yeah.
It was just a...
It's a
you
+2
need
quarter
to?
staff.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need to, yeah, let's do it. Whatever you want to do.
Basically a +1 on what he already has right now. So +2
again,
quarter
if they're in a
staff.
hurry, might as well.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and bump that from 2.5 hours to 3.5 hours, right? And you guys just kind of like flit your way, or flit the time away explore the junk of the nest, find a couple knickknacks, have a good time, and go about your business. That sound
Does
good?
anyone have ownership on the oil potion? I would like to claim the durability potion, as that was
Good question.
probably
Okay.
more my
And I will throw this out there, Ashes. I think I don't like the idea of breaking something down in order to learn a recipe or something like that. I like to think that you give each of the potions maybe not a taste for the flame one, but you give them an inspect, right? You jot down some notes, and now you have insight towards creating them in the future. Maybe not a guarantee to create them in the future. You might have to do more study, upgrade your capabilities, that type of thing. But at least you have a direction with which to pursue them should you be interested. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I don't want it to be like this tax where like every new potion that you guys come across, Ashes has to like sacrifice to the recipe book, you know, type thing, because that just feels bad, you know. So all right, cool. I think if that is the case, this is a pretty chill point for us to go ahead and end this episode on. You guys have bested the fairy dragon, made your way back into the castle, found potentially the fairy dragon's nest and a secret trapped treasure hoard, but you have figured out the trap through an overabundance of caution, which actually worked out for you this time. Normally it is. Normally you guys are either super reckless or weirdly overcautious. This time was just the perfect mix of just cautious enough.
Name one time that any of us were throwing caution to the wind.
I've never seen it.
Maybe that one time where the tiefling werewolf threw themselves from the building.
I don't think so. That would seem normal to me.
That was okay. Fair enough.
Perfectly calculated.
Perfectly calculated in every way. That's going to be it for our session tonight. I think we are on for next week, but if we are not, I will try to give fair warning. Probably not going to be available. I don't know. We might be available the week after that, and the week after that. It's holiday season, so we might be a little spotty on when our next session is going to be, but as soon as we get into the new year, I'm sure we'll get back to normal. Thanks for bearing with us, and thanks for joining. Hope everyone had fun. We'll see you next time for more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Bye-bye, everybody.
Words.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.